You might be thinking right now that you have lost your discipline. You used to be motivated. You used to set goals. You used to try every single day. But at some point, everything started to feel heavier. Even simple tasks became difficult. You procrastinate. You feel exhausted. And deep down, you start to believe that maybe you have just become lazy. But what very few people tell you is this. This feeling is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you have been trying for too long in a way of living that does not align with who you truly are. We grow up believing that discipline must be built through willpower, through forcing ourselves, through pushing past our limits every day. But the harder you push, the more drained you become, the more you blame yourself, the more motivation you lose. And then burnout appears, not because you lack discipline, but because you used the wrong method to build it. What if discipline does not have to be a battle? What if there is a way to return to consistency and calm, without forcing yourself to become someone else? In Japan, discipline is not seen as mental strength. It is seen as the result of a system that is carefully designed so people do not have to fight themselves. Japanese people do not ask how to become stronger. They ask how to make life consume less energy. And that mindset has created a completely different approach to habits, discipline, and long-term sustainability. In this video, we will explore the Japanese system for rebuilding discipline when you are exhausted. Not through motivation, not through pressure, but through understanding and redesigning how you live each day. If you are tired of constantly having to push yourself harder, stay with me until the end of this video. And if you are interested in content that helps you slow down, build sustainable discipline, and find balance in a world that never stops pushing, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, we are not trying to become perfect. We are learning how to live in better harmony with ourselves. Burnout does not arrive in a clear moment. It does not knock on the door and say, "I am here." It builds up quietly, through days when you still get your work done, still try to look fine, still tell yourself that you just need to push a little more. Until one day, you realize you no longer have the energy to start, even with tasks that used to feel familiar. Not because you do not know what to do, but because your body and mind have run out of the capacity to respond. The most dangerous thing about burnout is that it makes you misunderstand yourself. When you cannot maintain habits, you label yourself as undisciplined. When you procrastinate, you think you are weak. But in reality, discipline has not disappeared. It is simply buried under prolonged exhaustion, like a machine that is run continuously without maintenance. It does not break because it is low quality, but because it is being used the wrong way. Most of us are taught that discipline is the ability to force ourselves to do things we do not want to do. And in the short term, that can work, but over time, the body always remembers. Every time you ignore your fatigue, every time you use willpower to suppress your emotions, you are borrowing energy from the future. Burnout is the moment that debt comes due. When you are in a state of burnout, the brain is not looking for progress. It is looking for safety. It prioritizes rest, avoids pressure, and minimizes energy consumption. So the fact that you cannot maintain discipline is not a character failure. It is a very normal survival response. The problem is that we try to fix this by forcing ourselves harder, when the thing that actually needs fixing is the system that exhausted you in the first place. Japanese people look at this state very differently. Instead of asking, "How can I be more disciplined?" they ask, "What in my living environment is draining too much of my energy?" Instead of focusing on willpower, they focus on arranging life so that the right action becomes the easiest option, not the one that requires the most effort. And this is the key point. When you are burned out, you do not need more motivation. You need a new structure. Lighter, slower, but stable enough for you to return through small steps, without forcing yourself. That is when the Japanese discipline system begins to show its true power. In Japanese culture, discipline has never been seen as a heroic act. It is not about pushing through pain or conquering yourself. Instead, discipline is viewed as a natural state that emerges when people do not have to constantly make difficult decisions. Japanese people believe that if the right action requires too much effort, the problem is not the person, but the way life is organized. Rather than asking why they lack determination, they observe their surroundings, living space, daily rhythms, small habits throughout the day. All of these are designed to reduce friction. When everything is placed correctly, the right action happens almost automatically. And when action no longer drains mental energy, discipline does not need to be created. It forms naturally. In the West, we often talk about defeating laziness. But in Japanese thinking, laziness is not the enemy. It is a signal that something in the current system has become too heavy. Instead of suppressing that signal, they listen to it. They accept that humans are not meant to constantly force themselves, but to function in harmony with a suitable rhythm of life. This explains why Japanese people rarely talk about motivation. They do not wait for inspiration to act. They also do not force themselves to act when they are exhausted. Instead, they build structures that are simple enough that even on the most tiring days, they can still continue, even if it is just one very small step. This gentle consistency is the true foundation of sustainable discipline. When you are burned out, trying to return to your previous disciplined version often only leads to more disappointment. That version was built on a level of energy you no longer have. The Japanese system does not ask you to go back to who you were. It allows you to start again from where you are, with the energy you actually have, without judgment, without comparison. And this is the most important difference. Discipline, in this view, is not something you force yourself to do every day. It is the result of stopping the habit of making life harder for yourself. When life is simplified, when pressure is released, when small actions become easy enough, discipline returns naturally, almost without effort. In Japanese culture, kaizen is often understood as continuous improvement. But what few people realize is that kaizen was not created to drive rapid growth, but to protect people from exhausting themselves. It does not require you to feel motivated. It only asks for one very humble thing. The next action must be so small that you do not need to convince yourself to do it. When you are burned out, setting big goals often backfires. The brain sees the amount of work ahead and immediately activates a defensive response. You procrastinate not because you do not care, but because your nervous system is trying to preserve the little energy you have left. Kaizen goes in the opposite direction. It does not ask how much you can do. It asks, what is the smallest thing you can do, even on a really bad day? In Japan, discipline is not measured by the feeling of completion, but by the ability to maintain a rhythm. There are days when progress is almost invisible. A book is opened and then closed. A pair of shoes is put on and then taken off. A task is started but not finished. In the Kaizen mindset, these actions are not meaningless at all. They keep the flow of action from breaking. And that is the most important thing when you are trying to return. We often judge ourselves by results. But the Japanese system evaluates based on presence. Did you show up or not? Did you touch that habit or not? When the psychological barrier is lowered enough, action happens naturally. And when action happens often enough, discipline is slowly rebuilt, quietly, without noise, without display. What is worth noting is that Kaizen never pushes you to speed up. There is no moment where you have to do more than yesterday. There is only the moment when you realize that continuing no longer feels as heavy as it once did. The change happens so slowly that you do not notice it right away, and that is exactly what makes it sustainable. For someone who is burned out, Kaizen is not a path to quick success. It is a bridge that brings you back to yourself, through small steps that are safe enough to not fear failure, and light enough that you do not have to tense up every day. Japanese people believe that humans do not fail because they lack determination, but because every day they are forced to make too many energy-draining decisions. Every small choice, from starting work, picking up the phone, to delaying for a few more minutes, takes away a portion of mental strength. When the number of these decisions exceeds what you can handle, discipline collapses not because you are inadequate, but because the system around you is constantly working against you. Instead of trying to become stronger, Japanese people choose to make starting easier. Living spaces are arranged so that the desired action is always the closest, the clearest, and requires the least thinking. Distractions are not forbidden, but they are placed far enough away to create a pause. This small pause gives the brain time to choose, instead of reacting automatically according to old habits. In traditional Japanese homes, minimalism is not about aesthetics. It is a psychological strategy. When the environment is less noisy, the mind becomes less tense. When the space does not constantly stimulate you, you do not need to constantly control yourself. And when self-control is not being drained, discipline becomes natural, not forced. What matters is that Japanese people do not try to eliminate every temptation. They understand that absolute restriction only creates resistance. Instead, they change how temptation appears in daily life. A bad action is not banned, but it is made harder to access. A good action is not celebrated, but it is placed in the right position so it can happen more easily. The difference lies in design, not in willpower. When you are burned out, relying on willpower to maintain discipline is like trying to keep your balance on a slippery floor. You might stay upright for a while, but sooner or later you will fall. Designing the environment is like changing the floor itself. It does not ask you to try harder. It helps you avoid having to try too hard in the first place. And once the environment has been adjusted, discipline is no longer a daily struggle. It becomes a natural result of how you live, how you arrange your space, and how you allow yourself to act within a system that does not exhaust you. One of the things that drains people the fastest is not action, but constant decision-making. Every day, you have to decide whether to start or not, whether to continue or not, whether to rest a little longer or not. When you are burned out, these small decisions become invisible burdens. The brain is tired not because of the workload, but because it never gets to rest. Japanese people solve this problem in a very simple way. They remove decision-making from discipline. Discipline is not placed in the question of whether to do it today or not. It is tied to a fixed rhythm of life. The same time, the same context, the same small action, repeated every day. When an action becomes part of the schedule, it no longer needs motivation to begin. In this approach, you do not need to feel ready. You do not need to feel inspired. You only need to show up at the right time. Showing up matters more than quality. When the brain realizes there is no choice other than starting gently, it stops resisting. Discipline at this point is no longer effort, but a habit triggered by time and space. The subtlety is that Japanese people do not anchor discipline to stressful time slots. They choose moments of the day with the least pressure, where small actions can happen without colliding with accumulated fatigue. This choice prevents discipline from becoming a burden and allows it to become a stable anchor within daily life. When you no longer have to decide, you no longer have to argue with yourself. There is no long inner dialogue, no tug of war between should and should not. There is only a very familiar movement, repeated every day, light enough to not scare you, and steady enough to keep you from drifting away. For someone who is burned out, this is the most important shift. Not doing more, not doing better, but moving according to a fixed rhythm that feels safe. When life's rhythm stabilizes again, discipline does not need to be pulled back. It returns on its own, quietly, like a natural part of life. A common mistake when trying to regain discipline after burnout is wanting to return to your old self. The version that woke up early, worked long hours, and controlled everything. But burnout is not a sign that you have become weaker. It is a sign that the old system no longer fits. Japanese people do not try to restore the old self. They build a new system that fits the current state. Instead of asking how much they can do, they ask what they can maintain every day. This question completely changes the starting point. You do not need a large amount of energy to begin. You only need a small anchor, strong enough to keep you from falling further. A very light action, but one that can be repeated even on the worst days. In this system, a bad day is not a failed day. It is simply a slower day. You do not erase a habit just because you are tired that day. You shrink it. If you usually read 10 pages, that day you read a paragraph. If you usually write 1 page, that day you write 1 sentence. What matters is not the result, but that you maintain the connection with the action. Japanese people call this maintaining a thin thread. This thread does not need to be strong. It just needs to not break. When you keep this thread through the hardest days, you are teaching your brain something very important. Discipline does not mean self-punishment. It means long-term care. Applying this system does not require you to change your entire life. You only need to choose one moment in the day that you can control. One small action that does not create pressure. And allow it to exist even when you are not perfect. From there, life's rhythm begins to stabilize again. Quietly, without drama, without explosive growth, but strong enough to last. When you stop trying to become your old version and start respecting your current state, discipline is no longer something you have to chase. It begins to return, little by little, at the pace your body and mind can actually allow. If you have made it this far and you still feel tired, it does not mean you have not understood enough. It simply means you have been trying for too long without resting in the right way. Discipline, in the Japanese perspective, has never been about forcing yourself to become tougher. It is about living slowly enough, steadily enough, so you do not break yourself. You do not need to change your life immediately after this video. You also do not need to create a new plan or make any big promises to yourself. If there is only one thing worth taking with you, it is this idea. You do not need a lot of energy to begin again. You only need a rhythm that is light enough for you to return to every day. Maybe tomorrow you will still feel tired. Maybe next week things will not be better yet. But if you can hold on to one small action and repeat it long enough, you are quietly rebuilding the foundation of your discipline. No noise, no showing off, but sustainable. If the ideas in this video resonated with you, or even if they simply helped you slow your breathing just a little, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, we do not chase short-term motivation, and we do not promote forcing yourself. We learn how to live with rhythm, with pauses, and with enough discipline to not lose ourselves. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. And if today you were only able to do one small thing, that was already enough.